Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I want to talk today about turreted TDs. I want to talk about the T30 and the T110A4, two of the finest exponents of the turreted TD genre. They're the Tier 9 and Tier 10 American TDs respectively, and they share a commonality that might not be immediately evident when you see them, and that is that they have basically the same guns as their non-turreted American TD counterparts at the same tier, but they go a little bit slower in terms of rate of fire. And that's pretty important because that's how the game balances out the fact that they get turrets. Now, why is it so important to have a turreted TD like this, as we see a monstrously large shot rip into that Batchat T25 TAP? The reason that these turreted TDs are so valuable, and the reason why I find the E4 and the T30 to be enormously successful vehicles, is that having a turret allows you to set up a shot so very, very easily. And it's one of the reasons why the tank that I compare the T110E4 to the most is in fact the E100. I think it's an improved version of the E100. It gets a lot of the things that the E100 hopes to benefit from, but it also gets much better gun handling, and even, I think, a little bit better in terms of armor and mobility. The turreted TD is defined realistically by enormous alpha and TD penetration numbers. And that's what the E4 and the T30 have. But there are other tanks that have large guns on these turrets. Think of it like this. The T30 at Tier 9 is a really good TD. It works very well. It goes very, very well, in fact. And yet, for all intents and purposes, this is quite simply a Tier 8 heavy tank with a 150mm gun. And that might sound a little bit simplistic, but have a look at the tank. It's a T34 with a 150mm gun. It does not have an incredible rate of fire. It gets about, we can see there, 4 rounds a minute at 640 alpha. That's good, but it's not incredible, right? It's not crazy. And that's obviously with all the bells and whistles going that, you know, when perks and things are in place. What it does do is allow you to have the ultimate in peekaboo playstyle. The turrets on these tanks are not just there for show. Unlike the turrets, say, on a Grill 15. A Grill 15 is a tank that has a turret that is, it makes it easier to get shots off, but it really doesn't, it can't bounce jack. A Grill's biggest piece of armor is shoving its gun in HE shells as they try and put 1,000 damage into it. Boiling it down to its most basic sense, gun depression and a big gun allow you to wreak utter havoc on the enemy. And having a gun this big just gives you all kinds of options. And it's never more evident than when you're in situations like that. Ammo racks happen more often for guns with large calibers. There was a bug originally with the Type 49 where it was doing way too many ammo racks. And it's all tied into the size of the shell. Like, if you have a bigger caliber gun, you are more likely to hit the ammo rack. It's just how it works. And when you need to finish a 700 hit point target like that E75, you've got more of a chance if you are in a 150mm firing gun. It's just a fact of life. And this has been a very, very good game from Bo here. He's done all kinds of good things at the back of the map and the side of the map, and on using the gun depression. And it's 7 I-8s this. He's pretty happy, Bo Features. Good on him. Good on him. 7.17k. Like, God bless. That's a great game and well deserved in a Tier 9 tank. But this is one of those Tier 9 tanks that is pretty special. And it doesn't look at, I mean, to look at, it is just a T34 with a big ass gun. And the turret is not really even as reliable as a T34's turret is at its tier. But it's reliable enough that it can do amazing things. if you base your playstyle around a gun, then you can't go far wrong. If you've got a gun that is big alpha, high penetration, and has good gun depression, then you can play a perfect peekaboo playstyle. If you have a low alpha gun with super high DPM, then you've got to adjust your playstyle accordingly. If you compared these tanks to their non-turreted TD counterparts, like the T95 or the T110E3, then you would very quickly discover just how important it is to have a turret on that same gun. And the fact that it costs you a small fraction of the reload speed across to bear. This is my mate Bushful of Bacon, one of the South African humans who is a blight upon my Reaper rooms on EU. Bush and Coggle are rocking and rolling here in a couple of big dogs, and they're basically, you can see, running the exact two tanks I've been talking about, the E3 and the E4. And you're going to see just how valuable. I mean, that's a great shot to be able to take into an IS-7 at that range with that gun. And look how easy it is for the E4 to set shots up with this lovely weapon. And it has a reasonable armor profile as well. The mobility on it, like, it's so much better than E100, I think. I love this tank, I really do. But it's all about the ease of use. Coggle is contesting the cap there in the E3. And once he gets people on his side, he is in a real tight spot. He cannot, for the love of God, he takes one from the 183. He just can't move the gun around successfully without exposing his tank. And that's not a problem that Bushful of Bacon has in the T110E4. In fact, this is exactly why the E4 is phenomenally successful for me. You can set shots up in it so easily without really struggling. Goggle's a little bit filthy at the IS-7. He might well be have some reason there. He's a little bit to the left of spawn. If he uninstalled the game, he'd probably be a touch further back, but not much more. Lovely work there by Bushful of Bacon. And he's going to have to carry Coggle here, and that's a big load to carry because, I mean, Coggle's been eating a lot of pies lately, and, you know, that makes it tough. So he's pushing on through here, and there is another T110E4, and there can only be one Highlander. Hits a gorgeous shot, drops the adrenaline, and is pumping on down to Funky Town. These are, for all intents and purposes, heavy tanks, but they're heavy tanks with big-ass TD guns, and he's looking for that HE shot on the side and just takes what's available at the end of it. And now hoping to get a little bit of a reload break so that he can actually get this last target cleared. It's going to confirm HE. Yes, thanks very much. I'll take that. Buy that for $1. And there's 3 tanks left. One of them is on him now, and the other is off in the spawn, mauling the last medium tank. Switches for a HE shot. Oh! And that's what you can do in this tank. Turreted TDs are so much easier to drive. Now, I'm not talking about your Helsings. I'm not talking about Hellcats. God, that's a good cup of tea. I'm talking about big guns. Guns that can intimidate and decimate. Put on turrets that allow them to set shots up. And it's that shot, ease of shot, that really makes it work. Now let's just settle back and watch Bushful of Bacon bring this big boy home. There's a Gruel to kill, there's a T-54E1, and he's done a very clever thing here. He's moved back behind good concealment and cover. And he's just waiting for a chance to do a little bit of something to somebody. And the Gruel doesn't want to know about it, because if he can hit him with HE, he is going to absolutely tear this Gruel a new one. And the Gruel knows it too. He doesn't want to get hit with this HE shell. There's the 54E1. Be silly not to take that shot. Excellent. And he's already backing up and giving a great angle. Wondering exactly where that Grill is and how many hit points he's got left. He's on 5,500. There's the Gruul. Now, the Gruul doesn't actually have a whole lot of hit points here. Big shot in, and the adrenaline has worked overtime and got him that wonderful opportunity here. Now, this is tough, but this is the armor profile of a tank like the T110E4. It's not that it's impervious to shells. It's not that at all. It's that he's able to minimize the amount of damage coming in because it's so hard for the T54E1 to pen it to the point where it gets super low. The E1 is trying to get the reload. Bush full of bacon is doing the Rammy McRammerson and just trying to shove that gun mantlet in the middle, and he's going to do it. Great game. 5 kills, 6,839 damage, and a huge carry of that Coggle to Creef kid. Well done, Bush full of bacon. Great stuff, and 2 really, really good turreted TDs there that don't get enough credit at all from the powers that be. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying yourself out there. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be wonderful. If you want to like the videos, hot diggity dog, I'm all aboard. And if you just want to chill out and watch what's going on, then welcome to the Love Train, boys and girls. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.